Welcome to my videos on my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about on 2025 NBA Play-in Day 3. Well, tonight was played the NBA Play-in Day 3, the last day in the play-in of this year, and now we know the last two teams that qualify as a set in each conference. Where in the Eastern Conference, Miami Heat defeated as away team 122 to 114 the Atlanta Hawks and overtime, and the Heat did a surprise and qualify as a number 8 set in the Eastern Conference. And this is weird because the Miami Heat finished in the number 10 set in the regular season, but because they won the NBA play-in, for that reason they are the number 8 set. And in the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't have any problem and defeated the Mavs 120 to 106. The Grizzlies qualify as a number 8 set in the Western Conference. So let's talk about a little more about this game. Well, remember that the Atlanta Hawks played this game because the last Thursday they lost against the Orlando Magic 95 to 120, and for that reason they lost the opportunity to play as a number 7 to qualify as a number 7 seed in the conference. And the Miami Heat didn't have any problem and defeated the last Wednesday the Chicago Bulls 109 to 90. About this game, I thought that where the Miami Heat defeated 123 to 114 Atlanta Hawks, I thought that this game was going to be closer because the Atlanta Hawks, in my opinion, were the favorites because they were playing in home, but the Miami Heat have experience playing in playoffs. For that reason, they put in the playoff mode, and for that reason they won this game. The Heat dominate the first half, where they were leading by 9 point difference in the halftime. They were leading 62 to 53. They were leading for more than 10 point difference in some part of the game, especially in the first and second half. But later the Hawks reduced that gap. The Hawks in the third quarter, it was very close the game where the difference was always by 9 point difference. Where in the end of the third quarter, the Miami Heat were leading the game. 86 to 77, but this was but in the first 2-3 minutes of the first quarter, of the last quarter, the Atlanta Hawks played better. They outscored the Miami Heat, and they took the lead of the game, and they were leading by 1 or 3 or 4 point difference. And in that moment I thought that the game was over because I thought that the Atlanta Hawks had the momentum of the game. They were leading with less than 5 minutes to play, and in that moment I thought that the Atlanta Hawks were going to win this game. But later the Miami Heat adjusted its basketball level. They reduced the gap, and in the end they were leading the game. But later the Hawks forced the overtime, and this game was finished. Uh, Finished in a tie. 106 to 106. It was amazing because in the last 2-3 minutes of the regular season, the regular game, there were several games changed, and it was a spectacular game. And in the regular time, they finished tied 106 to 106, and everything was defining the overtime. Where in the overtime, the Miami Heat were better team. They took the lead of the game in the overtime, and the Atlanta Hawks couldn't reach the Miami Heat, and in the end, the Miami Heat won the game 123 to 114. For that reason, they qualify as a number 8 set, where they will play the number 1 set, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the best team in the Eastern Conference and the second best team in the league, and they eliminated the Atlanta Hawks. About the individual statistics, the best player was Tyler Hero with 30 points. The second best scorer was Andrew Wiggins with 20 points, and the tier best was Bam Adebayo with a double-double with 17 points and 11 rebounds. And in the second game in the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't have any problem and won this game 120 to 106. And remember that the Grizzlies the last Tuesday in a close and tough game, they lost against the Golden State Warriors, and for that reason they had to play this game. because they lost the opportunity to get the number 7 set in the conference. And the Dallas Mavericks the last Wednesday, then they had a problem and defeated the Sacramento Kings 120 to 106. So everything this game, everything was defined which team was going to be the number 8 set in the conference, where the winner will take that position and the loser will be eliminated. So the Memphis Grizzlies didn't have any problem. They took the score and played. The Dallas Mavericks were since the beginning the Grizzlies took the advantage, and it was very impossible for the Mavs to reach them. Where since the first quarter the game was over because the Grizzlies were leading the game easily by 15-point difference, 39 by 24. In the rest of the game, the history was the same, where the Grizzlies were always leading the game between 10 to more than 20-point difference. In the second quarter, they again won this quarter, this time by 2-point difference, 27 by 25. The Grizzlies took advantage of 17-point games in the halftime, and they were leading 66 to 49. In that moment, the game was over. I thought that the Dallas Mavericks were going to make some adjustment to minimum to reduce the game to a little the 10-point difference, and maybe the Mavs could take advantage of that. And the Dallas Mavericks started better the second half, where they reduced the game to a less than 7-point difference, where they were trailing 68 by 75 in the first minutes of the third quarter. But after that, the Grizzlies made the adjustment. They increased the lead to a more than 20-point difference, and it was impossible to the Mavs to reduce the gap again. And in the end of the third quarter, the Memphis Grizzlies were leading 96 to 78. The difference was by 22-point difference, and in that moment the game was over, because in the fourth quarter it happened the same, where the Memphis Grizzlies were leading the game by more than 15-point difference. It was impossible for the Mavs to reduce that gap, and in the end the Grizzlies won the game 120 to 106 against the Dallas Mavericks, and for that reason the Grizzlies got the number 8 set in the conference. They will face the number 1 set, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the best team in the league, in the first round, and the Dallas Mavericks were eliminated. About the Grizzlies, the best player was Jaren Jackson Jr. with 24 points, and the second best scorer was Desmond Bain and Jay Morant with 22 points each one. So, so you can see here. So, what's next? Tomorrow we'll start the NBA playoffs with the first round in both conferences, in the Eastern and Western Conference. With the first game, the Indiana Pacers will receive the Milwaukee Bucks in the 13 o'clock Eastern time. The second game will be the Denver Nuggets will receive the Los Angeles Clippers and 50:30 Eastern time. The third game will be the New York Knicks will receive the Detroit Pistons the 18 o'clock Eastern time. And the last game, the best game in my opinion, my favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers will receive the Minnesota Timberwolves and 20:30 Eastern time. So I think they will have a tremendous series in the first round. So remember that in a few minutes I'm going to record a video where I'm going to talk about the 2025 NBA playoffs, where I'm going to talk about each round, and I'm going to give impressions, the teams that will qualify to each round, to the next round, and in the end the team that will play the NBA finals and the team that will leave the NBA finals this next summer. So in this video I talk about what happened today, where we played the NBA play-in day 3, where the Miami Heat defeated the Atlanta Hawks by 9-point difference in overtime, and for that reason the Miami Heat clinched the number 8 set in the Eastern Conference, and they will play and face the number 1 set, the Cleveland Cavaliers, in the first round. And in the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't have any problem and defeated the Dallas Mavericks by 14-point difference, and for that reason the Memphis Grizzlies qualified to the playoff, and they will face the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in the first round. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment suggestions, you can write me on my social media platform. See you next video. Jimmy.